We have just clicked over a week since the UK general election was called, and today Parliament will be formally dissolved. As they say, a week is a long time in politics, and it feels as though much has happened, but most of it seems like white noise. We've had the Lib Dem leader, Ed Davey, oddly fall from a paddleboard into Lake Windermere. The point of that exercise totally escapes me, but I'm sure some political nuffy thought it was a good publicity stunt. You'll recall that recently Labor whip Diane Abbott was stood down over anti-Semitism allegations and was barred from standing as a Labor candidate. And then yesterday it was reported that the bar was overturned on the outcome of the investigation and, well, we think she's allowed to run, but it's hard to get a straight answer. Even the Tories aren't quite sure about the result of the investigation and have asked questions themselves. In any event, she's still better off than Jeremy Corbyn, who's been formally binned from the Labor Party. He was banned from standing as a candidate and was then expelled after he confirmed he would run as an independent. Corbyn believes he could retain Arlington North as an independent, and one wonders whether this campaign will become a focal point or a pain point for Labor on the foreign policy front, given the conflict in the Middle East and Corbyn's cushy relationship with Hamas. All of this is going on while a veritable conga line of Tory MPs decide to put themselves out to pasture before their constituents do it for them. And if that isn't enough ruckus and dysfunction, Rishi Sunak is on the blower to Boris Johnson to discuss the risk that Keir Starmer and Labor pose to the country. It's a very interesting chit-chat, given Sunak resigned as Chancellor in July 2022, which saw the Johnson government fall within days. Oh, how short and convenient memories are in politics. And then there's Nigel Farage, who isn't standing for election for reasons which are not entirely clear. Apparently he was going to run, but it's hard to win a constituency, so he didn't. And then he's worried about the other side cheating, but he will still help Rishi Sunak salvage the Tory campaign. So instead of spending 6 weeks stuck in a constituency, he's going to travel around the country, not just supporting reform candidates, but also trying to get proper debate going. I'm not quite sure I follow that maze of reasoning, except that debate is never far from Mr. Farage, that is for sure. And ladies and gents, this is just the musical chairs. We haven't even really got stuck into the policy platforms yet. But rather than try and appeal to voters, Sunak appears to be playing to older Brits, with promises to raise the pension tax-free allowance and return to the nostalgia of national service. They seem like odd policy announcements after being so long in government, but perhaps that political calculus is less focused on the future of the country and more focused on who's actually likely to turn out to vote. Now, the polls have shown a slight improvement for the Tories recently, and when I say slight, I mean the plunge appears to have been arrested. Not enough to retain government, but perhaps enough to ensure the morning after papers label an election defeat as a loss rather than a total unmitigated shellacking. Now, it is an old, tired government, but is it worse than the alternative? And that appears to be an inevitable choice for many Brits. The Tories have been, let's be honest, roundly disappointing in recent times, but Labor is directionless and hapless. Broadcaster and commentator Esther Kraku described the choice between Sunak and Starmer as like having to choose between cholera and dysentery. A recent poll showed, amongst other things, that Sir Keir was more trusted by voters than Mr Sunak to change a tyre, assemble flat-pack furniture and offer to pay for the first round in the pub. The Labor leader also beats his Tory rival on who is more likely to lend money if asked and to win popular game shows such as Celebrity MasterChef or I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. With such serious issues at play at the moment, it seems almost inappropriate to be so cavalier about this decision-making. Or maybe it's just an exercise in if you don't laugh, you'll cry. The cherry on top of all of this is an article in The Australian by Troy Branston, lamenting Keir Starmer's lack of charisma. Now, when someone as blancmange as Troy Branston notices a lack of charisma, you know a party leader is peak vanilla. But then again, maybe that's all Keir Starmer needs to be. And, well, that's the first week. It's a long time until the election on July 4, and it's anyone's guess where this circus ultimately ends up.